As good as we'll ever be.
All right, and 3, 2, 1,
go. Jesus Christ.
Welcome back to the what episode are we on?
I don't know.
No one watches this anyway, so. Welcome back to the episode of the CABL Guys. This is Pat Dempsey with Chris Holland again.
As always.
Yeah, and we're back inside. Not at your house.
Not at my house.
Not at Mike's house.
Nope.
We're in my apartment. We're in my fiance's apartment, let's be real. She just lets me live here.
So you're a lucky man then.
Yeah, I got a roof over my head. And we also have Mike. Mike, say hi to the people.
Hey guys.
Mike's 30 years old and currently sitting in a beanbag chair. With his knees in his chest.
It's best seat in the house.
We honestly have enough room at this table. What we made sure we had Mike sitting over there by himself.
Correct. Like Steven Glansberg.
Mike looks like the kid that's like a little too young to be at the adult table, but too old to be at the kiddie table. That's still sitting at the kiddie table at like a wedding or something.
He's the fun cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate all of you.
Is your back gonna hurt by the end of this?
A lot.
His back probably hurt.
Yeah, no, it's gonna hurt a lot.
I can't wait. We're gonna cut to you in a little bit, and you're gonna be lying on your stomach like, hey.
I'm just gonna be on the ground.
He's trying to do a sit-up so he can reach his microphone.
Christ. I already...
We can't hear you. What?
Anyways.
But yeah, so we have some good news.
Baseball is almost back.
It's like not back, but it's back.
It's back.
But not back yet.
I mean, I don't give a shit about the MLB. We're going to be playing baseball from the time we record this in 10 days. 10 days.
It was weird, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this when we were talking about, like, baseball is back. And I was more excited for the beginning of the year. Now I'm just like,
Yeah?
I don't know. It's really weird.
No, I'm excited to play.
Like, I want to play and everything. It
feels weird to be...
I don't feel like it's real yet.
It feels weird to be starting the season in mid-July.
Yeah, I went golfing the other day, and I was, like, dying. I was like, wait, it's July, so yeah, it should be hot. But I haven't played baseball yet,
Right.
so...
Yep. No, it's weird. We
Yeah.
haven't played any... Well, we've been practicing. We scrimmaged the other day. We took live ABs. If anybody from Plymouth Town Hall is listening to this, it was not a scrimmage. We just took live at-bats against our own team.
I mean, that's what we did.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We didn't scrimmage. We were the only team there.
Okay, I was like, we're not lying. Like, that's actually what we did.
I know. They explicitly said when they issued a permit, you are not allowed to scrimmage. I said, don't worry, it's just going to be our team there. We're not scrimmaging. We organized live ABs.
Yeah, we had our pitchers throw. Jason went. He looked rusty to start, as probably would be.
It's the first time he's thrown off a mound since March, and the first time he's pitched to hitters since August.
And then none of our other pitchers were really there.
Nope. The Simpsons threw.
The Simpsons threw. Kyle threw. Mike threw. We had a picture of him. We put it up on Twitter.
Care to comment?
I really don't know why I do this for you guys anymore.
Because you need projects.
Yeah.
What else do you have to do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Actually forget who that picture was that I
It's
actually...
Tommy Lasorda.
That's what I thought, too. And he's clearly a lefty.
Yes. That's Tommy Lasorda like 20 years ago when he looked old. Now he looks decrepit.
I think that was older than 20 years old, though, that picture.
Really?
Yeah, no, I think that was probably...
Like from the 80s?
It could have been. It looked like it was that old.
Tommy Lasorda's been old for a long time, so it's possible.
He's been old for longer than we've been alive.
Yes. Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Ooh, you're probably right.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
Different one than I'm used to.
Why are you covering up the agenda?
Because I don't want you to see it.
Great.
So yeah, baseball's back, and I know I want to talk about it at least really pretty quickly. MLB will be starting. Sorry. MLB will be starting this month.
Summer camp just started.
Yeah.
All the campers arrived yesterday.
I was going to say yesterday. From what it sounds like, they're not going to do any like exhibition games. It's really going to be
live
play with
ABs
your
and
team.
inter-squad scrimmages.
Yeah, so no scrimmages.
Mike's just scooting in his beanbag chair, and it's very funny. Hopefully he actually cuts to himself in the edit here.
I mean, if he...
I definitely will. I'm too far from the microphone.
If he doesn't, it's just going to be us randomly laughing for no reason.
This is true.
This doesn't slide, and I think I'm stuck.
gonna have to help him up later.
I'm very
So,
scared.
Chris, we're going to have a pitcher on the DL to start the season. It's going to be because Mike can't get out of the beanbag chair.
Pitcher.
Yeah,
Former pitcher.
player. You're using two hands, too.
It's like Trumpster.
You want us to put a nipple on that for you?
We're gonna give you a big round of applause the next time you can hold it up with one hand. Like, look, I can drink with one hand.
And then you can throw it.
Anyways, we'll steer away from politics here. Did you see? So the minor league baseball canceled their season the other day.
Yes, the
And
Paw
Rhode
Sox
I-
tweeted it out.
Rhode
which was-
Islanders are furious because this was supposed to be the Paw Sox last year in Pawtucket. Now
That's-
they're moving to Worcester.
So that's what my question was. I saw that. I think actually you showed me, Lisa, didn't you? Might have been. I don't know. You were there. The Paw Sox tweeted it out because we were having this conversation, and I was confused because I thought they already moved to Worcester.
No, this was going to be their last year in Pawtucket. Apparently, Rhode Islanders like commenting on the post, being like, "You were a financial drain on the state. You were horrible for this." And then there's other Rhode Islanders like, "We're going to miss the Paw Sox." But the Red Sox are going to use McCoy Stadium this year as like their facility for their like the MLB can have each team can have a player pool of 60 players that they can use during the season.
Yeah.
So for the guys that aren't on the active roster, they're going to be working out at McCoy.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's where like their I think taxi squad, I think is the right phrase. That's where their taxi squad's going to be in case they need to bring anybody up to the big league squad.
That's a really weird term.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Um,
It's like the TWL for us. It's our taxi squad,
we don't call anyone from there.
but we could.
Yeah. So baseball is definitely back, but there are going to be some weird rules put into effect. I get distracted when you do stuff.
Just do your damn show. Jesus
trying, man.
Christ.
Why? Nobody watches
Just
it
taking
anyways.
pictures of my dog.
Anyways, universal DH this year, which I love.
Yes.
Fuck pitchers hitting.
Okay. That was very aggressive for that.
Sorry.
But
I have strong
so
opinions.
I don't know which way I want to think about it because I understand like universal DH, everyone loves home runs, everyone loves offense. That's great, fine, whatever. But I also like the idea of I don't care about the whole like, oh, just the strategy.
Yeah.
Like you got to go with the strategy. I was like, I don't care about that. I just think it's cool the fact that like you have 10 guys in the game, or 9 guys in the game. You have 9 guys in the game. They all play, so they all got to hit.
Yeah, I mean, you've got guys to be ball players. You don't want to just be like, I'm a pitcher. I don't do anything
Yeah.
else. I just pitch. But at the same time, they're paying these pitchers so much money to go out there, throw 100 miles an hour, strike guys out. The last thing you want is a pitcher getting hurt, like trying to stretch a single into a double
Yeah.
because they're pitchers and they don't run the bases that often.
I just think it would be funny if like, because you can obviously go 2 different ways with it. You can have someone who's a nasty pitcher and can't hit, or you can get someone who's like not a great pitcher but can rake. And I just think that would be funny to see a game where like some nasty pitcher's going up against all these good hitters. I don't know. I just think it could be interesting. But I like the universal DH. It helps the fact that JD Martinez is coming. I think
He can be a free agent after the season,
yeah.
so he's going to get paid.
He's
Although the
definitely gonna get some
universal
money.
DH is only in place for this season. It's not
because
it's
then
not carrying
the
over.
bargaining agreement or whatever it is.
They've got one
will-
more year under
yeah.
the current CBA, and then I'm guessing there's going to be a universal DH starting in 2022. But
Probably.
it's-
Which would be weird to go from a universal DH to no universal DH to back to universal DH.
Yeah.
But they're also going to be doing some other weird stuff too. I think are they still going to be sitting in the stands and everything like
I
that?
think so.
There's
Guys
going
that-
to be no fans.
Guys that aren't playing are going to be sitting in the stands. The guys that are actually in the lineup, I think, can be in the dugout.
I want to see like them do all the stuff that the fans usually do, like the wave and stuff. Just like one guy in a section be like, "Woo!"
Batting around a beach ball.
I think that would be hilarious.
So from what I understand, they're going to allow press into the park and put them in the press box instead of like spreading them out throughout the stadium.
I
Which
thought they
seems
were supposed to be spread
ridiculous.
out.
From what I heard, and that's from Carabas listening to Section 10, they're going to have the press actually in the press box. They're not going to let them like scatter around the grandstand like they probably should.
They definitely should.
Yeah, it's like the press box is not big. Like,
I mean,
it's for social distancing purposes. They should have them spread out around the stadium.
It's pretty big, and you can open the windows that are in there, but there's going to be too many people in order for it
Yeah.
to be properly socially
Right.
distanced.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah,
Whatever.
so we're going to be watching Red Sox game soon.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Can we talk about how they're doing the schedule too, where they're
No.
only
So, sorry. Go for it.
they're only playing like the Sox are only playing East teams, so they're never going to leave the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's 40 games against the other teams in the AL East, and then 20 games against the NL East or something. They don't go any further west than, I don't know,
Philly?
I guess, I don't know, it's Philly further west than Toronto. I don't. They don't go outside the Eastern time zone. It's crazy.
I don't know Canada.
Yeah. Anyways,
Sorry.
but it's cool. It's weird. We're never going to see West Coast teams this year because they're still going to be playing
Nope.
10 p.m. games,
I
and
was gonna
nobody's
say.
going to give a shit.
No 10 p.m. games.
Which is
for the Sox, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to watch games. But, I mean, I always like watching them play the A's and the Angels and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But we
But
won't see Trout or Ohtani this year.
but I also like the fact that we're going to see the Mets.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'll be cool.
Yeah. The Mets, the Nationals.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Phillies?
maybe Sean Newcomb will get to come pitch it in Boston again. That'll be
I
cool.
thought you meant for us. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, hopefully Dave Griffin for us, but
Hey, fingers crossed.
give up on your dreams, Dave. That's pretty much all I got on the schedule.
Yeah.
There's one other quirk I wanted to talk about. I do not remember what it is off the top of my head, though, so that makes for great TV.
You want to just sit here and wait until you figure it out?
Yeah. All right, moving on. I can't remember.
I was really hard not to like laugh there. I think that was also the longest amount of time I went quiet.
Probably.
That was impressive. Pats on my back. So, MLB's back, but your boys are back.
We're back.
Leave me alone.
We can't.
Just leave me the fuck alone.
Do you think the mic caught that?
What?
I heard something. I didn't know if you were.
No, I
Okay.
kicked the chair.
Oh, I thought you were just like trying to.
No. I don't up to it. Anyways, we're going to be playing baseball 10 days from today. 10
Yeah.
days with
Weird.
face masks on.
Yes.
There are teams that are not thrilled about this. There are players that are not thrilled about this, but in order to play this season, we have to do it. I mean, face masks are going to be around for a while. I don't know why anybody would think that we could have to wear face masks to like go pick up food or to go to the grocery store or whatever, but we wouldn't have to wear them to play men's league baseball.
Yeah. So I understand where they're coming from with it and everything. I completely get it. I think some of it that I think weird is like if I'm playing, I almost said if I'm playing short, but hopefully that never happens. If I'm playing second and no one's on base, I don't have to wear it, right?
You do, because there could be a tag play at second base that comes up at any time. You're going to be running to second and trying to pull up your mask while you go over
Yeah.
there to cover. You do
No.
you. But
No, I mean, I get it.
we can take them off between pitches. We can take them off during any kind of breaks in the action, but we're supposed to have them on if the ball's in play, essentially.
Okay. Which, hey, if that's what we got to do to play baseball, that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Face masks are going to be around for a while. This isn't just some stupid provision we're putting into the league because we think it's going to be fun to watch everybody play baseball in masks when it's 90 degrees out. I mean, nobody actually wants to do it, but if we want to play baseball, that's how we have to do it this year. And we'll get into it more as we talk about the guidelines that got published today later on in the show. But face masks are here to stay. We
do it now.
We could. We ordered custom face masks, so I'm excited for those to come.
We're not
in.
getting the ones from the league,
We're getting both. We're gonna have two. So we can, if they get soaked in sweat in the first game, we can switch them out for the
which
second game.
they will.
Definitely. But
Mike's been practicing already.
true.
He's been walking around with his face mask on. He did it at practice the other day. He's working on that restricted oxygen.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. Like, if you're huffing and puffing, it's gonna suck a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm also already not in great shape, so that already sucks.
So you're not going to be moving fast enough for it to affect you?
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
There you go.
If I ever make it past first base, I'll let you know how tough it is to breathe in those masks.
He's already
How
huffing
about
and
that?
puffing, walking at a brisk pace, as am I. So
Chris, you hit a home run in practice the other.
jogged around the bases and still coughed up a lung when I got back to the dugout. I was too excited. My heart rate was beating out of my chest. I never hit home runs.
Yeah,
I
we
talked
know.
shit to Zach all the way around the bases too.
I bet you did.
I'm rounding first base on my way to second. I'm staring at him, going, "Did I just take you, Oppo? Did I just take you, Oppo?" And then I gave him the DX chop as I got to the plate.
I thought you were giving him the Max Muncy when you were like, go get the ball out of the fucking ocean.
I should put this caveat on here. We were practicing at Seaver. Left center field is about 308 feet
And you
to
hit
the
it about
power alley. And
310?
yeah, exactly. I hit it about 310, but it was an opposite field home run, and that'll never happen again in my life. So it's pretty cool. Thanks, man.
Good for you, man.
We're all very proud of you.
You also have a hole in one.
I do. We won't bring that up again. Pat's gets salty.
No, but do you want us to go into the regulations and everything now while we were
Sure.
kind of talking about it?
Let's talk about it. I'm gonna open up my my little guideline sheet here.
I feel like that should have been a cut to like a new segment, like, pew, like a bunch of lasers and shit. Come in.
Guidelines.
Yeah, we'll put in some lasers
Hell
and
yeah.
cats. We'll put cats in there.
cats?
Yeah, why not?
The musical?
Cats with lasers coming out of their eyes.
Or is it going to be that picture that was going around a while, like with the kitten going like this and like lasers shooting out of their eyes at little people and everything.
Obviously.
Okay,
Little
just make
people.
sure. Dude, I'm gonna be in the picture.
Oh, okay. Anyways, yeah, guidelines. Obviously, the biggest one, face masks. If you're hitting, if you're on the bases, if you're catching, if you're playing the infield, or if you're in the dugout and can't social distance, then you have to wear a face mask. It just is what it is. It's going to be hot out, and that's what we got to do. If we're going to play baseball, that's what we got to do. And that's what a lot of the guidelines cover is when you have to wear a face mask, when you don't have to wear a face mask. The umpires are going to be wearing face masks. They're not going to be handling baseballs. And each team's going to be responsible for their own baseballs. So each team has to provide 3 or 4 for the game. You got to chase down your own foul balls. You take it off the field with you when you're done on defense.
I'm not gonna be able to get used to that.
It's going to be very weird. The bench has to throw balls into the game because the umpires aren't handling them. It's just weird. It's separating and making sure things are touched as little as we want as little cross contamination as possible.
I like the way you were trying to phrase it beforehand.
We don't want to be touching each other's balls.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at? Yeah. The league's going to be distributing an extra dozen baseballs to every team this year too, so that way we can kind of cycle them in and out of play a little bit.
Terry
more.
will be happy.
Terry will be thrilled. This is the one year he's not playing, and he finally gets extra baseballs. But I mean, I guess those are the big ones. You can't share equipment this year, so everybody needs their own helmet, which I think some teams probably found out
tough.
like last week and like, oh shit, I need to go buy helmets.
Yeah.
Which fortunately I was able to be proactive about because I'm on the board and knew this was coming into play.
Way to share it with everyone else.
Didn't ask.
Well, last time we also got in trouble.
Sure.
When you shared.
True,
things
I
you
got
shouldn't
in trouble for sharing
Propriet. Oh,
wow.
wow.
You can't say it either. Confidential information that hadn't come out yet. Proprietary. We got it. We got there.
Oh.
This is only our second beer.
I got you.
Thanks.
The next one's a weird one, I think, though.
What's that?
The no sunflower seeds, gum, chewing tobacco, anything like
Or
that.
spitting.
You can't spit.
Yeah.
Like,
It's gonna be.
I don't do any of that stuff when I play. Like, sometimes I'll have a handful of seeds or like
Yeah.
a piece of gum or something, but I usually don't. But I'll be out in the infield and I just, like,
Yeah, just
it's
spit.
I just spit
Yeah.
for like no reason, just
Yep.
because I've grown up
It's like,
watching
oh, shit,
baseball players.
There's some
spit.
saliva in my mouth. Better get rid of it.
Yeah,
I
for
do
no
it.
reason.
I do it subconsciously. And that one's going to be near impossible to legislate. I think it's just kind of on everybody to be like, hey, let's try not to do this so much.
I also spit in my batting glove sometime before I hit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the only one touching your bat. I think that's okay.
I know I'm the only one touching my bat.
I don't see why that would be different. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is what it is. I don't see why that would be any different than spitting on the ground, though. It's not like someone's walking over them licking the dirt.
Yeah.
You don't do that?
Hopefully. All right,
Well, there's a lot of times when I like go to spit, and for some reason I'll just look down, and the Simpsons are down there, like
yeah,
trying to catch it.
there is that.
They're a rare breed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like a weird thing too. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Like, again, I get it. You want to keep everyone safe. It's fine. Just kind of weird that it's strict about that one.
Yeah.
I think it could be too that I know there are some people who like when their glove gets dry, they'll like spit in it and like rub it around
True.
to moisten it back up.
No, you're right.
And you definitely don't want to be doing that because that's where the ball's gonna go.
Yeah.
And the pitchers can't go to their mouth or anything like that because they're going and touching the ball.
That ball, like that becomes an illegal ball. It just immediately gets taken out of play if
Yeah.
they do it. Not an illegal
which
pitch.
will probably just be sent back in because we're gonna run out of baseballs.
Correct. Maybe you send it to the bench, maybe run a disinfecting wipe over it or something, or Lysol or something.
So if you need a few extra inches or so on your pitch, you'll be like, oh, this.
There's
going
gonna be a lot of doctoring of the baseball this year.
It's gonna be so easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
get
gonna be
Jason a nail
encouraged.
file for his birthday and just like,
You already missed his birthday. It was like last week.
I'm gonna get him a nail file for the 4th of July.
He's sawing on the baseball. That's pretty much it for the big stuff, I think. Everybody's got to have their neck gaiters around their necks at all times in the field. Pitchers and outfielders don't have to have them over their face, but if there's some kind of meeting on the mound or, if there's a pitching change and the outfielders want to convene and chat, they're supposed to have them up over their face.
Which, I mean, I don't mind that because it'll cover my double chin, even if I
Correct.
don't have a beard, so it'll help me out there.
Yeah, that'll be
I mean,
nice.
because I haven't minded this whole mask thing because I'm fucking ugly as it is. I'll just cover a third of my face, and it's not as bad for everyone else.
It's true.
Yeah. I probably should wear a mask now. Maybe that's why we're not getting views. Who knows?
We stink. We stink. No handshake lines after the game this year, which Fine, who cares?
We'll all get together and praise the Lord.
I don't want to shake your hands
Tip the
anyway.
cap. Like, good game, gents.
Little League World Series status.
I'm trying to look through the guidelines here if there's anything else that's crazy.
Before we get to the umpires, though, which I think is probably coming up somewhere.
Yep.
Do you have anything else? We need to get a word from our sponsors.
I guess the last big one, it's going to be we're all adults in this league.
Are we?
To an extent. Everybody's 18 and over, so we're all legally adults. If anybody's feeling sick or under the weather or has come into contact with anybody that's had COVID or might have COVID, just stay home. It's not worth coming to the game and getting other people sick. Just stay home. It's not a big deal.
Unless, like, you're Jason and you're pitching that day.
Yeah. You're right. Anyways.
I'm just kidding. No, definitely. We joke around about all this stuff because I've said before, humor is my coping mechanism when things don't go my way. I make jokes about it. But definitely, I know we're close right now, but we've
Spent way too much time together in the last month or so.
Not only that, but like before that, I've never left my house
No, I
until
didn't
that.
either.
You didn't. Like, we were very comfortable. Like, we've hung out before, and
Yeah.
that's why Mike's over there on the beanbag, because that's the thing that we can burn after when he leaves. Um,
And gets back into my car.
exactly.
Anyways, we'll move on to talking about the umpires. So
After this word from our sponsors.
We still don't have sponsors.
boo.
But that was the cue for the break that you wanted us to take. I just like the idea of cutting to a blank screen for like 10 seconds. Don't have to do that again.
I thought we did have to do it again.
He's like, we don't have to do that because we're synced up. Mike, you want to do me a real quick favor since we're back from this break? Lean back.
Oh
Keep going.
shit, he's got a chair now.
Oh, all right. Underneath, pull the thing out. Yeah, that thing. There should be a thing that adjusts the height. Pull that out and lean back. I feel like whenever I sit and it goes way back, wicked fast.
Gravity.
That's the third fat joke you said today.
Good.
I'm going to umpires.
Just talk about umpires, please.
Umpires. So there are some umpire-specific guidelines that were sent out. They're going to be used by pretty much every league that Walter assigns. Walter is our umpire assigner, in case you guys didn't gather that. The first one he's got is ground rules. They want them posted on the league website. Not going to happen. We have too many different fields. The umpires are never going to look at them. So we got to be, 6 feet apart and yelling at each other to do ground rules with masks on. Mike looks sad because he's all hunched over in his tall chair now.
The other chair I was too far away from the table. I couldn't reach the microphone. And
on the
every
ground.
time I leaned forward, I would move backwards. So, you know what? We're going to compromise. Life is full of compromises. I'm just going to sit right here. Leave me alone.
You told us to draw attention to it. Breaking the fourth wall.
A little behind
Anyways.
the scenes.
Lineup cards. I'm starting keeping lineup cards this year. They never do in our league anyway, so who cares?
Oh, no.
They don't want on-field arguments, which that seems
Doesn't-
like a heat of the moment thing.
But doesn't that say in our bylaws that like the umpires are always right and there's no arguing with the umpires anyway?
Yeah, on judgment calls at least you can argue like rule interpretation calls. I think. Mike, where are you going? You're ruining the carpet.
Just do your thing.
Stop distracting us. I'm trying to talk to Pat, and I'm looking. And he's like, oh.
I'm distracted. Oswald's even looking at him.
I lost my place. Arguments. Not supposed to be arguments. They stipulate that they want the players that we discussed already to wear masks, so it's kind of the same thing. Umpires aren't going to be handling baseballs, and the umpires are going to ask the managers to enforce the mask wearing for their teams.
And I
which
know
they should anyways.
at least the plate guy is wearing a mask.
The field guy is too. The umpires are going to be wearing masks at all time. They're going to be in
yeah.
normal position, though. We're going to have the plate guy behind the plate, the field guy in his normal ABC positions. So we're going to have normal umpiring for the year.
And then it
which
says
is
that
great.
I think it said something that like it's not required. They don't have to wear gloves if they don't want to,
Yeah,
but it's
but they
kind of like
can.
encouraged.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to have ball bags.
No ball bags. No ball sacks this year.
No sacks with balls.
We're going to be contacting umpires before the game. You can contact umpires before the game to see if they've got Venmo, to pay them electronically, avoid handling cash. They have asked that if we are going to pay cash, we put it in an envelope to give to the umpires, so that way they can sterilize the cash, I guess, when they take it out of the
I
envelope.
thought
when
you
they
had
get
to
home.
like dap him up and give him the cash.
What's up, G?
Would that be considered money laundering?
I like that.
I'm really trying not to laugh right now.
Why? It was funny.
I know, but like I like the bad jokes. I like to say them.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yes, it would be considered
Because,
money laundering.
like I said earlier when we were talking about this, I think it would be funny if the umpire was like, "No, I don't have Venmo, but I have an OnlyFans. Like you can just donate there."
Just subscribe. $85 a game. So for those of you who don't know, the Senators will be streaming their games on OnlyFans this year. $10 to subscribe.
No, I thought we were gonna do this, but just shirtless.
We're already shirtless. What are you talking about? We're just taking out the CG.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
It's in the budget. Trust me.
Because we have a budget. We should start a Patreon. Keep saying that. The 2 people that watch this can give us money.
Mike Terrio, fork it over.
But yeah, so those are the umpire guidelines. And
Look, it's going to be weird. Playing baseball
Yeah.
this summer is going to be weird, wearing a mask and trying to stay socially distant from your teammates and not using the dugout to the full extent, which we didn't talk about. I think I encouraged our guys to bring folding chairs. We're going to set them up down the line so that way we don't have to wear masks while we're not in the field.
I can't wait till it feels like the 100 in a game and I start drinking in between the games. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to do that.
Nope, definitely not.
Because it does say we can't hang out.
Yeah, can't hang out in the parking lot
Yeah.
after the game or anything. Not at the field. If you want to go out to a restaurant that's open, feel free.
Which I think is weird.
Why?
But whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hot anyway. Who's going to want to stand outside?
Yeah. By the way, I had a large hand in writing all these rules, so any criticisms that I have is kind of silly, but I can criticize my own work, I suppose.
Man, I sucked.
I didn't write them all. Anyways,
But yeah, so
the reason we're able to start playing baseball and have these guidelines in place is because today, I don't know if it was officially announced today or leaked today, but Massachusetts is officially going to be moving into phase 3 of reopening starting
What?
Monday the 6th, right? It's the 6th on Monday? Yeah, the 6th.
that took a lot of math for you to add 2 days to the 4th.
Yep, sure did. Massachusetts is moving into phase 3, and I don't actually know what that means other than we can finally get permits to play baseball games.
Yeah, it says that there's outdoor sporting events can happen without under like 100 people. I think one of the things that I was reading, it was like you can only have one person for every 1,000 square, or 8 people for every like 1,000 square feet inside somewhere, and
Okay.
up to like 20 people, and then outdoor things are up to 100 people, and all this stuff. Obviously, we're not
That's like 4 times as many
we're
people
not
as
smarty
we need.
pantses that get that stuff, so we're just gonna follow the rules and go from there. I know, like gym's open back up, so I can finally go back and get my swole on. Is that what the kids say?
Sounds right.
Okay.
Gonna get a pump.
Yeah, get a pump. Be April Swole Lincoln.
Swolbraham Lincoln.
Swolbraham Lincoln. That's what it was.
Gonna get yoked.
Yes, there's another one. We don't go to the gym. I tried for a little while, and then I got bored.
Same, because we went together for a little bit.
Did we?
When you were in Plainville, that was a long time
we
ago.
went once
We went
to the
twice.
one in my apartment complex.
Yes, sure did. So yeah, that phase 3 starts Monday, so that's why we're able to play, and that's all that stuff.
The city of Boston, like within the city limits of Boston, they're not.
It's going to be the 13th.
Yeah, which we don't have any games scheduled in Boston for the first
Until
week, so
the
that works out nicely.
26th?
I don't know.
28th? Something like that. Dave mentioned it.
Oh.
So yeah, that's good. Great to hear. And we always want to talk about a few things that are just not cable related, like we usually do at the beginning, but just stuff after that too. So I had written down just weird like baseball situations that you guys have been a part of, or been in, or been on a team that's happened, that just aren't something you see every day.
I mean, I think I already told my story of the ball being hit to left field and the guy throwing it out of play, and the coach arguing that the shortstop they only gets one base. It's the second throw from a shortstop or something like that. Something ridiculous.
I was more not like weird rules, but like just like funky situations or something that happened. Because like the first thing that I thought of when I was like, yeah, let's just kind of chat about this, was actually at a TWL scrimmage.
Oh boy,
I think you were there, Mike. I know you weren't.
I wasn't. I know what you're talking
We
about.
played at Robinson in Whitman. Whitman Hanson. And I was catching.
Yikes.
Yeah. I was back when I was like semi good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Semi adequate at
We
it.
get it.
it was bases loaded, and there was a batter up. His last name was Woods. I know you guys know him, but that all you need to know is that this kid was up.
Adam or Nate?
I don't know.
All right.
I was catching, bases loaded, and we got out of the inning with no one scoring and the same kid at the plate.
It's so TWO that it hurts.
Yeah. So what happened was I was catching and someone was playing short, and the kid on second was taking the biggest lead in the world, like basically running to third base. So second pitch, I think it was, I backpicked him, and he was toast. So now they have first and third with one out.
Mm-hmm.
Next pitch, the guy on first takes off for second. I throw down to second. We cut it off. The kid tries to come home, and we get him at the plate. So now it's a guy on second with 2 outs, and I think 2 pitches went by. The next pitch, that guy on second tried to steal third, and we threw him out by about 7 feet. And the kid at the plate was just like, what the fuck is going on right now? You just took the bat out of my hands, and I got off, took my mask off. I went, hey, you lead off next inning, and just walked away.
It's nice of you to remind him.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Okay.
I block out a lot from those years.
TWL, yeah, I feel ya.
Yeah.
But anything weird happened for Chris or Mike, whatever? I know you were talking.
You want to go,
so-
Mike?
Yeah, nothing quite that strange. I think probably the weirdest thing I've had is back when I was playing AAU when I was 13 or 14, playing a game in Abington, and I had all 5 coaches on my team get tossed within like a 5-minute period.
No way.
Yeah, it was
High school?
For what?
just arguing
Did
calls.
they
like
fight each other?
No, they were just they were just not happy with the ump that day. It was one of those days
Who
where
was umping? Chili?
dude, I was 13. I don't know. But it was just one of those games, like, we were getting smoked, so no one was happy in the first place. The ump wasn't great. I mean, it happens. But my head coach, who I won't say him by name, not that anyone
Use
is
government
listening.
names.
He was a kind of a fiery guy, so the second he would get the least bit pissed off, it would be a whole to-do, and it would be 10 minutes of, all right, time to calm him down. So he just went on an absolute rampage, pretty much bum rushed the home plate ump.
Great.
Oh yeah, great.
Did he do like the whole Rosenbag toss and he took second base? Like
No, he
Do you remember?
Surprisingly, he just came short of like bumping him, which that would have been like a nice little just a little
Cherry on top.
little salt bay on there.
Do you remember what the call was that set him off?
I think it was balls and strikes.
Yeah.
It was something that stupid where he had just been, the ump had been prodding my coach all day. He gets tossed. Our assistant coach immediately beelines right at him, gets tossed on the spot. Our pitching coach just starts jawing from
you
the
were
bench.
13 and you had a pitching coach
had
and
five-
like an
five
assistant
coaches.
coach.
Dude, it's back when AAU was actually like serious, which there was a time. It was a while ago.
Yep.
And now if you have the
I've
money,
umpired enough of those games to know it was a while ago.
Oh yeah. But then our pitching coach from like the end of the bench just said something under his breath. He's tossed. Then technically our bench coach, which was really just one of the dads on the team,
13
who was
and a bench coach.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, no, it was a dad who kept score. So not officially a
Paul
coach
Simpson.
at all, but because he was in uniform, because he was in the bench, he was technically a coach. I don't know what he did. He just pretty much threw his clipboard, ran into the field, and just started arguing. So
was this after he was thrown out or?
no, before.
I would love to
So-
see Paul Simpson do that.
So he was the last guy keeping us still on the field. So he gets tossed, immediately forfeit the game. I think we actually had a second game that day too.
They let everybody come back?
No. They called the weekend.
Wow.
And that was
Wow.
it. It was the most
Where
bizarre thing.
Where were you? Did you have to travel?
Abington.
Oh,
So not
So,
too
yeah?
far. What's that?
so yeah. You had to travel? No? Okay.
Shut up. Was this Mass Pride or was it Rockland?
It was Rockland.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not going to say names. Not that anyone's watching, but his son, made it through the minors for a little bit, and
We'll talk
may-
off. We'll talk
may-
off air.
May or may not be the nicest guy, or may not be the nicest guy in the world.
I know what he's talking about. I don't.
How about you?
All right, transition. I think I've got two.
I have another one too.
Okay, well, I'm going to go first. 12-year-old all-stars, like summer travel baseball. We were playing a game in South Weymouth, I think, at the elementary school up there. I forget what it is, but they've got a couple of baseball fields. But I don't know, it's probably the fourth inning of a game. I think it was a close game. I don't really remember. But our coach's kid was pitching. And for some reason, we're 12 years old. The other team's coach was just talking shit to him for the whole game.
To the pitcher?
Yeah, just being a dickhead to the pitcher, this 12-year-old kid. And eventually...
We want a pitcher, not a belly itcher.
I think our pitcher, didn't get a call that he wanted or something and looked at the umpire or said something or just wasn't happy. And the other team's coach just said something along the lines of, guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And our coach flipped his shit, pulled us off the field in the fourth inning of the game. It's like, nope, we're leaving. We forfeit. The other coach comes over to our dugout and tries to lecture us about, don't listen to your coach. He's being a bad coach. And we all yelled back at him. And that was that was something. The other one I think about just weird situations, the triple play that we had last year against the Dodgers. It was just a weird triple play because early in the game, they had a guy go into second base, didn't slide, and put his arms up to try and.
I don't even think he did that. He just didn't slide.
Yeah, but he just did something to not allow a throw to first.
You were playing first, right?
I was playing first. We argued that the guy at first should have been out. The umpire said no because you were playing short. You didn't make an attempt to throw the ball, which I think he's actually right about.
So very well could be.
But because we had talked to him nicely about it and not screamed at him, all right, just keep an eye out for it later in the game. Later in the game, they had first and second, nobody out. Same situation. There was a ground ball to second, flipped it to you at second base covering. The kid, again, didn't slide, so you just threw the ball around him. The guy at first was safe by a mile.
I don't think I even was remotely close to first base.
I mean, the throw was online. The play wasn't close.
Oh, I think I just lobbed it over his head, though.
The guy was safe by a mile, but the ump called him out for interference because the guy didn't slide at second. And then I was playing first, noticed the guy running to third took a large turn, so I threw across the diamond, and we backpicked that guy, and we turned a triple play, and their manager was furious. The kid that got backpicked at third was getting yelled at, and the manager's yelling at him. He's coming off the field. He's like, "You always yell at everybody. You make this not fun."
I do remember that.
And it was very funny.
Because that was I think when the Dodgers were going through
a rough
managerial change.
Yeah.
They
were going through a rough patch.
That was actually the last time I saw that guy that was yelling.
Same.
The last one that I have was also another triple play.
Oh boy.
But it was I was 12. It was a strike him out, throw him out triple play.
That's bizarre.
First and third, batter up, obviously. I was playing short. Pitcher struck the guy out. Guy at first takes off. We throw down, and I caught it and tagged him in one motion. And then for some reason, the guy at third just was like, "Oh, okay." And then he went, and I was threw it home, and we got the guy at the plate. It was really weird.
I think I've been a part of 3 triple plays in my life. The one that we just talked about. There was one in the TWL. We were playing a playoff game. I was playing shortstop. There was guys on first and second. Collier was on first.
So you had some time.
Yeah, T was at the plate. So not exactly a lot of speed on the bases, but T hits a line drive right at me. I caught it. The guy on second had taken a hard step towards third, so I had time to go over and tag the base, and Collier had taken 3 steps off first, and he's never getting back. So I stepped on second, just floated it over Collier right to Adam, who was playing first. We're triple play.
Now, again, breaking the fourth wall here, Mike, can you take the videos that you're taking on your phone and add them?
That was the plan.
That's kind of what I thought you were doing. I just wanted to make sure. Because now you have a friend.
I kind of know what I'm doing.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't know what you're doing. The other triple play I was a part of was an unassisted triple play when I was 8 years old. I was playing shortstop, line drive, caught it, stepped on second,
and tagged the guy.
The kid that was on first didn't know how to play baseball, so he had ran most of the way to second, and I chased him back to first and tagged him out. It's awesome. What are the eyes he's giving him?
Yeah.
You got treats? You got treats? Anyways.
Yeah, I was the last triple play that I was a part of was in softball.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was weird. Ground ball to third, stepped on third, through to second, through to first.
You had enough time to do that in softball?
The guy that was hitting was older and couldn't run and everything like that. So that was it. But yeah, I just thought that would kind of be funny to talk about. The last thing I wanted to talk about, I actually need my computer for, was you mentioned Carabas earlier with Section 10. I was listening to them, and they mentioned one thing in passing about weird old baseball rules.
Okay.
And I wanted to go over some of these with you and get your thoughts.
Can I give you one off the top of my head before you start reading them that
Sure.
I remember? There was a season sometime in the 1800s where they counted walks as hits.
Yep, so that's
So-
in here. That's one of them.
Somebody hit like 460 because they counted walks as hits when he should have hit like 360.
So that was it 2 years ago when I led the league in walks?
Yeah. I
I would have had so many.
Yeah, your batting average would have been like 700.
Yeah, it says walks were scored as hits for 1 year in 1887. 11 players hit 400 that season, 9 of whom would have had walks not counted as an at-bat. They were rewritten in 1968, Special Baseball Record Committee and all that stuff. This guy Cap Anson hit 421 to lead the league in 1887, had 60 hits taken away from him, which stripped him of not only the batting title, but the honor of first ever member of the 3000 Club.
That's tough. That is tough.
Yeah, that was one of them. The one that jumped out that, don't look at this. I want to read them to you because I am good with words.
Okay.
The one that jumped out at me, though, was that it was 6 balls to walk at one point. I don't know what year it was or anything, but that I think is crazy as well.
Have you ever seen the video of like the guy inventing baseball? And he's like,
Oh, it had
no.
like Adam Sandler in it and stuff?
I think I'm thinking of a different one, but he like swung and missed at a pitch and like, all right, you're out.
No,
He's like,
you get
no,
3.
I get 3 of these.
And he's leading off of first base, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I just stole second. That one, yeah. And then he gets hit with 1 pitch, and he's like, I get first for free. No, I've seen that. You know what we're talking about, right? So the first one that they have on here, where I wish we still had this, where batters had the right to request a low or a high pitch from 1967 to 1987.
1867.
Yes.
I say I don't think that was happening when like
Yes.
I
1867 to 18.
Struggling to think of players that played in the
87.
70s. Fred Lynn. I don't think that was happening when Fred Lynn was playing. Hey, Freddie Lynn.
So it was just like, yeah, can you just throw the ball here?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And they had to actually try to do it.
Have you ever seen that commercial for Fred Lynn? It was for some like Musk or something, or for some cologne. It was like he's playing third base and these 2 like attractive women in the crowd like, "Hey, Freddie Lynn, how about you come talk to us up here?"
I've seen that, yeah.
I haven't. No, are they also played by Rob Schneider and any others?
It might be. It's very funny. We'll show it to you later.
We'll show it to you, and then you can add it as a clip right here so everyone else can
That's
see
a good idea. Look at that. Editing.
You're going to have to hold your hand up for longer than that.
Know what kind of fragrance a woman really likes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Um,
Next rule.
Fly balls could be caught off a bounce until 1864.
Oh boy, can
and
our outfielders use that?
And foul balls till 1883. So I was like, oh, Lawler, Zach,
Just let it bounce once. It's
anyone.
easier.
Just like, oh,
They'd still drop it.
Mike.
Would it be easier for you to catch it off a bounce?
I haven't dropped one in a game yet. So,
But just
so
imagine
there's that.
like a hard hit line drive. Like
Smoke one, takes one hop.
one skip, and they just catch it. And you're like, yeah, you're out, man.
That would be brutal.
That would be so tough to get a hit. That's probably why walks counted.
True.
You wouldn't have all those 4-hour games.
That's
Certainly make things go by a lot quicker.
true.
Pitchers were required to throw underhand until 1883.
Softball.
Jenny Finch just whipping balls.
True.
No, but I think it had like an arc and everything, and it was just like,
So
yeah,
it's slow pitch softball.
hit
with
a home
baseball.
run. No, but then it gets even weirder too.
But these were also like trash men and accountants playing baseball.
Yes.
It's not like it was Barry Bonds up there like, hey, why don't you give me an underhand pitch, and he hits it 500 feet.
But not only is he throwing underhand, the next rule is one side of the bat was allowed to be flat
No, so it was a cricket paddle.
from 1885 to 1893,
So it was a cricket paddle.
basically.
Yeah.
Which I've seen these videos too of these ex-baseball players like going to like India or Australia.
They
and
hit the
playing
ball
cricket.
600 feet.
They hit the ball out of the stadium.
Yeah. Yep.
It is crazy, and cricket's weird too. If I'm wrong, that like you're like more inclined to swing as hard as you can at balls rather than strikes.
Yeah, because you don't want the ball to hit the wicket.
You don't want the ball to hit the wicket, so you just want to make sure you hit it. But if it's like way like completely not
swing
hitting
out
the
of your
wicket, you
ass.
just fucking try and crush it.
Yeah.
So I think I should be able to use a cricket paddle.
No. When I was in St. Lucia, I was playing golf one day, and I had a caddy. because I should have a caddy when I play golf. But
You
he was
deserve
saying,
one.
He was saying his
You
favorite
need
sports.
him to go. It's right there.
Yeah, it's true. He was saying his favorite sports are golf and cricket. I'm like, I don't understand how cricket works. And he spent 9 holes trying to tell me how cricket works, and I still didn't get it.
The next one where umpires in the 19th century had it made, it says. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically, the umpire meant almost nothing. It wasn't like an actual person who had any training or anything. It was like the most influential person in the stands at the time. They would pick at the time of the first pitch, and they would come umpire the game.
Like, you won the pie eating contest last year at the county fair. You come umpire the game.
Exactly. So, what they say here was umpires were given easy chairs in the general vicinity of home plate. So they just sat there and were like, yeah, maybe it's a strike.
Not close enough.
Yeah. So nothing like nowadays where we scream and yell at
Scream.
umpires and everything like that.
Not this year, not on the field.
Rather than crouching, catchers would stand a few feet behind home plate.
I
They're
could-
throwing underhand. So
I could get behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of our catchers, except Deegan, he's nuts.
He's a psychopath.
But like just standing there and not having to like worry about your knees or anything like that. And then it said the spitball was outlawed in 1920, but pitchers who had been throwing it for years were grandfathered in.
They have pitchers that pitched in like the early 1900s in MLB The Show. They should put a spitball in the game and just be like, we have no idea where this thing's going. It's just like a fast knuckleball.
Like backyard baseball,
Yeah.
when like you'd see the spit coming off the ball when it came in. What was it like?
You heard me.
Either that or like when oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Holy shit.
Pablo Sanchez?
No,
Wheeler?
Pablo Sandoval.
Matsuzaka came
Ice
into
Skate?
the league, and then
Oh my god, he's got the gyro.
in
it was a
in
slider?
in the show they gave him a gyro ball,
Yeah.
and no
It was
one knew what the hell it was.
Basically just a screwball.
Yeah. Can you see him?
Yes.
Nice.
Producer and friend.
That's Oswald, everyone. Oswald, say hi.
The look he's giving him.
Do you have food?
I don't have any more food.
Sad.
And then the next thing that
Very sad.
the next thing that I heard them talk about, and actually is on here, was there weren't any walk-off home runs really.
Yeah, because
So they were talking about Babe Ruth, and that he really should have had like an extra few home runs, because if he hit a home run and there was a guy on first base, it would only count as a triple, because once that guy scored, the game's over.
Yep.
So if like
you couldn't hit a walk-off home run and win by 3 runs.
so
you could only
Bogarts,
win by 1.
Bogarts with his walk-off grand slam,
He
it was like, nah,
would have been
single.
a single. Yeah. Can we talk about the next rule that you had on the list there? The ground
Yes.
rule doubles would have counted as home runs until 1930. I would have had 2 home runs last year. I want that added to the record book.
How many did you have?
0, but I should have had 2 in 1 game.
But you didn't have any.
Off of the guy that almost made a couple of Pirates players quit.
I am pleading the fifth. I don't know what to say to that.
Anyways, you got any weird baseball rules? Leave them in the comments.
There won't be any.
No comments. We still have to say it though. I think that's pretty much it for this episode. We are 10 days away from baseball. I've said that a few times. We're 10 days away from baseball, and I'm very excited.
5 strange rules in baseball that happened today.
We're just
It
rambling
said-
at this point.
No, it says like pitchers can't spit on the ball, but the one I saw, it says that you can't use your hat to catch the ball.
True. 3 bases.
I don't know if it's that, but I know if you throw something at the ball and make contact,
True.
it was 3 bases.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to trivia question.
Yep. Your brother asked me like last week, you're an umpire, what's the weirdest rule that you know? I'm like, I don't know, man. It has to happen for me to know it.
Before we end, I thought of another weird baseball situation that happened.
Okay.
And it happened including both of us. I don't remember if we've talked about this
The
yet.
softball one.
No.
Oh.
When I was pitching in TWL and you were hitting, and you smoked a line drive back at me.
I did.
And it hit the rubber.
And
Shot about 20 feet in the air, straight up, and I caught it and then just threw it to first base and got you out.
But if that had bounced into foul territory,
It's a foul ball.
It's a foul ball.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Is it if it hits the rubber? Or is
Yes.
it just if it hits like
If it
the
hits
dirt?
the rubber, it's and then goes foul, it's a foul ball. If it hits the dirt, it's fair.
No. That doesn't make any sense. Because a ball can be rolling along the infield, hit a rock, and shoot foul.
No, well, but I'm saying like, even if it hit the rubber and crossed out after first or third base, I'm pretty sure it's still foul. But if it hits the ground, it's fair because it hit there and moved over.
We should research that one. We'll
Yeah, I
revisit
don't
next
really
week.
care. But yeah, that was funny too. Yeah, that was it.
I was very upset. I smoked that ball.
You were out.
I was. You're right. So I think that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who are actually still watching, we appreciate it. The production value has gone up and the viewership has gone down. So that's it for this week's episode of the Cable Guys.
Once games come back, we'll have more to
Apparently
talk about.
Apparently,
and
it's not it for this week's episode of the Cable Guys.
Get out of my house.
All right. See you later.
We will see you next time we do this because we haven't been doing it regularly.
Bye.